This is Bobby Kraft coming to you live on SNN Live. We're here at the Cambridge House International World Resource Investment Conference 2012 in Vancouver, BC. I'm here with Ron Hera of Hera Research. He writes a newsletter. You can find him at heraresearch.com. Ron, welcome back to SNN Live.
How you doing, Bobby?
I'm doing pretty well. I would like to know, you wrote an article recently, and I'd like to hear a little bit about it.
Well, I wrote an article called Value Subjectivism and Monetary Instability over a month ago, and it's been widely read across the internet. People have commented on it. There's actually have been articles written about the article, and it's had several million readers at this point.
What's it about?
Well, it's actually about the basis of value and the basis of money, or what the foundation of value and money is. And it talks about it from a moral standpoint as well as a philosophical standpoint in terms of what actually creates value.
So what does create value?
Well, I link value to what I call biological survival value. And by that, what I mean is that any real economic product has substantial economic input. So I'm talking about the ingredients of survival: food, shelter, those kinds of things. So historically, money also was something that had survival value. So in a barter situation, of course, any product that's bartered automatically has that same survival value. And one of the inputs is actually human labor, and that's what creates the value. So when you have, for example, a gold or silver coin, the inputs into the production of that coin are real, and it includes human labor, and the value is actually stored in the finished product. It's a finished good, just like any other bartered good.
So Ron, what exactly is value subjectivism?
Well, value subjectivism means that something has value just because people believe that it has value. And I draw a sharp distinction between subjective value and what I call biological survival value. So, for example, food or shelter doesn't have the same kind of value as a Rembrandt painting. So there's a qualitative difference. It's a different kind of value.
And it's because of that, you claim, is why the fiat currencies carry so much value? Is that what you're going into? Is that the main conclusion that you're trying to make?
Well, fiat currencies represent agreements between people, and agreements between people can have value in a particular context, but agreements can always be broken. So there's real wealth, and there's wealth that has survival value, such as gold and silver, and then there's wealth that's derived from agreements between people. And those agreements can be transient and temporary in their nature.
Now, we've had you on a couple times now. You've shared your views with our audience. I want to get a little bit of a background on you and your newsletter and how you got started.
Well, I was originally in the software industry, and then after the dot-com crash in 2000, I became very interested, let's just say intensely interested in hard assets. And anyone who's lost money in the stock market obviously can't help thinking about what they might have done other than having gambled the money away on high-tech stocks. So I became interested in hard assets, and I started buying real estate, and I got out of that in 2006, and I became very interested in resources. So I've been studying resources since the early 2000s and started investing just exclusively in natural resource companies. And my newsletter basically is my research on resource companies, and it's my own portfolio of stocks, basically what I'm buying and why.
So what goes into your research methods? What do you look for? What about these companies do you see that gets you excited?
Well, there's a number of criteria, but the main thing I look for is growth in resources and production. So I'm looking for fundamental value. So I'm not a trader. I'm really looking to make investments in businesses that will be successful as a business. So I, for example, play a lot of pre-production to production type situations. Right now, because of the market conditions, I'm buying more developed companies that have production and cash flow. So in a down market, I think there's an opportunity to buy cash flow at a discount, and that's where I'm focused right now.
Is there any one particular sector that you are focusing on right now?
Well, I think the gold shares have been substantially undervalued because there's been essentially a popular belief that the gold price will trend down from this point, that the economy has been recovering and so forth. We talked about this last time. And actually, that's not the case. The U.S. economy is struggling. The U.S. government is still facing a fiscal crisis eventually. So it's not the case that even though the dollar has acted as a safe haven, it isn't the case that the dollar will stay a safe haven asset indefinitely. Gold has spoken, and when we saw the rally in gold, $66 on Friday, 3 or 4% in one day on the gold price, that kind of change is basically an authoritative statement about what value is.
Thank you very much, Ron. This has been Ron Hera of Hera Research. You can find Ron's newsletter at heraresearch.com. This has been Bobby Kraft coming to you live on SNN Live at the Cambridge House International World Resource Investment Conference 2012. Ron, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Thank you.